Hey everyone, and welcome back to Bets Today, your go-to channel for all things fantasy sports. Today, we're diving deep into the world of basketball fantasy leagues. Whether you're a seasoned manager or just getting started, these tips are designed to help you build a winning strategy and, most importantly, have a ton of fun this season. Ready to dominate your league? Let's get into it. First things first, let's talk about the draft. The draft is arguably the most crucial part of your entire fantasy season. This is where you lay the foundation for your team. My number one tip here is to do your homework. Don't just show up on draft day and rely on the platform's pre-rankings. Those are a good starting point, but they don't tell the whole story. You need to develop your own player rankings based on your league's specific scoring settings. Is it a points league or a category-based league? Does it count turnovers? These details matter immensely. A player who is a top 10 stud in a points league might be less valuable in a 9-category league if he has a high turnover rate. So, spend some time before the draft looking at player stats from last season, reading expert analysis, and even checking out injury reports and off-season moves. A team's new coach or a star player's departure can completely change the fantasy outlook for the remaining players on that roster. Another key draft strategy is understanding value. It's not just about picking the best player available in the first round. It's about finding value in every single round. This is what we call value-based drafting. For example, let's say you're in the middle rounds and you see a player who is ranked much higher on your personal list than on the platform's default list. That's a value pick. Grabbing players who outperform their draft position is how you build a powerhouse team from top to bottom. Don't be afraid to reach a little for a player you truly believe in, but also be ready to pounce when a great player unexpectedly falls to you. Balance is key. Aim for a mix of high-floor, reliable veterans and high-ceiling breakout candidates. Once the draft is over, the real work begins. A common mistake many managers make is to set it and forget it. Your team needs active management throughout the season to stay competitive. This means diligently working the waiver wire. The waiver wire is your lifeline. Every single season, there are players who go undrafted but emerge as fantasy stars due to an injury to a starter or simply an unexpected breakout performance. Be active every week. Look for players who are seeing an uptick in minutes or usage. Even if you don't have an open roster spot, don't be afraid to drop your last man for a hot free agent. This is how you find those hidden gems that can win you a championship. Pay close attention to the schedule, too. If a team has 4 or 5 games in a week, streaming a player from that team can give you a significant boost in stats. Now, let's talk about trades. Trading is one of the most exciting parts of fantasy basketball, but it can also be tricky. The best trades are the ones that help both teams. Don't just send out lowball offers hoping someone will make a mistake. That's a good way to get a bad reputation in your league. Instead, identify your team's weaknesses and another team's strengths, and vice versa. Do you have a surplus of point guards but are weak in rebounds? Find a team that needs assists and has an excess of big men. Propose a fair deal that addresses both of your needs. When you're negotiating, be clear about why you think the trade makes sense for both sides. A little bit of good communication can go a long way. And remember, patience is a virtue. Sometimes the best move is no move at all. Don't trade just for the sake of trading. Another crucial aspect of in-season management is paying attention to player health and load management. In today's NBA, star players rest more than ever. It's just a fact of life. Keep an eye on back-to-back game schedules and follow team reporters on social media for the latest injury news. Having a deep bench with versatile players can help you weather the storm when your stars inevitably take a night off. If you have a player who is consistently listed as questionable, it might be a good idea to have a reliable backup on your roster who you can plug in at a moment's notice. Managing your injured reserve spots effectively is also a huge advantage. Don't let a valuable injured player clog up your bench if you have an IR spot available. Use it to stash that player and pick up a healthy, productive player from the waiver wire. Let's also touch on understanding statistical trends. Don't overreact to a single bad game or even a bad week. Players go through slumps. It happens. Look at the bigger picture. Is the player still getting the same number of minutes and shots? Are his underlying metrics still strong? If so, it's probably best to hold steady and trust that his performance will bounce back. On the flip side, if a player is on a hot streak, try to determine if it's sustainable. Is he shooting an unsustainably high percentage from three? Or has his role on the team fundamentally changed for the better? Being able to distinguish between a temporary hot streak and a legitimate breakout is a skill that separates good fantasy managers from great ones. This is where watching the actual games can give you a huge edge over people who just look at the box scores. Finally, and this is the most important tip of all, remember to have fun. At the end of the day, fantasy sports are a game. They're meant to be an enjoyable hobby that adds another layer of excitement to watching basketball. Don't let a tough loss or a bad beat ruin your day. Enjoy the competition, the friendly banter with your league mates, and the thrill of cheering for your players. That's what it's all about. Building a community within your league and enjoying the journey of the season is the ultimate prize. There you have it. A complete guide to help you build a competitive fantasy basketball team. From draft day preparation to smart in-season management, applying these strategies will give you a serious advantage. Remember to stay active, do your research, and trust your instincts. Thank you so much for tuning in to Bets Today. If you found these tips helpful, please hit that like button and, most importantly, subscribe to the channel for more fantasy sports content all season long. We'd love to have you as part of our community. Let us know in the comments what your biggest fantasy basketball challenge is. Good luck in your leagues, and we'll see you in the next video.